Kia ora everyone. My baby's sleeping. Testing. Hopefully I can get through this video. Kia ora everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today, I wanted to sit down and film my labour and birthing experience, because that was a lot, I'm not gonna lie. As you can see by the title, it's no joke. From early labour till birth, it was 42 hours, and I was in active labour for 26. So I have my laptop here. I'll put it here just to help me remember, because God knows I don't. She could possibly wake up and then I'd have to like chop this video up into multiple pieces, so it might look different in the next one. You know, bear with. One second. So the first day, so it was 1:30 in the morning on Sunday morning on the 2nd of March. Let me give you a bit of backstory. I was due on the 27th of Feb. Whoops. I was due on the 27th of Feb. I knew I wasn't having a baby on the 27th of Feb or before then. She was very comfortable in there. I gave birth 40 weeks and 3 days, I think it was. Girl, when I tell you I don't remember, I don't remember. Hold on. Back. So I went into early labour, or I started having like really mild contractions at 1:30 on Sunday morning. They were like 15-20 minutes apart, sometimes less than 10, but for the most part more than 10. And I was like, cool, just keep it moving. So I laboured at home until 2 p.m. on Sunday. And I was like, I'm going in. My contractions were 2 to 4 minutes apart at that point. I went to the hospital. I gave birth at Marda Mothers Hospital. So good, but I'll get to that. When I got to the hospital, they did a cervical check to see how dilated I was. Those cervical checks are horrible. And she goes, oh, you're 3 centimeters dilated. It's not quite enough to take you upstairs, so come back in a couple hours. And I kind of knew they were going to tell me to come back. Like, I felt like the contractions weren't bad enough at that point. I was like, I thought I was only 1 centimeter dilated, so I was happy to hear that I was 3. But I was just like, this is the slowest part. They were like, you can either go home or like go walk around downstairs, but come back in a couple hours. And I chose to go home. Now, that's when the contractions got real. I was like, dang, am I 10 centimeters already? Like, from 2 to 4:30, I was dying. I was screaming, crying. I was sitting in my rocking chair like, holy shit. If I can't get through these contractions, how do I think I'm going to give birth naturally in the water? Who am I? Why did I think I was going to do that? That was my ideal birth plan, was to have a natural water birth, get gas, no epidural, So I go back 4:30 in agony, agonizing pain. Every contraction felt like the end of the world. I don't even want to say I was being dramatic, because seriously, they did another check to see how dilated I was, and they turned around and said, you're still 3 centimeters. And I was like, please. Felt like I surely had dilated another 3 by then, but no. Basically, they were like, it's up to you. You can stay down here, I can give you some pain relief, or you can leave and come back if you want. And I was like, there's no way I'm leaving and coming back. I will sit my butt right here until you're ready to take me upstairs. They gave me morphine, an injection in my leg, which was not a great feeling. I was all like, ha ha ha, love my life, can't feel any pain. I think I was eating Lifesaver sticks and drinking Fresh Up, Feijoa. And I was just living my best life. Honestly, I was watching YouTube. The midwives came and checked on me, and I just wanted to offer them more lollies. It was a great time. They took me upstairs at about 7:30, and that was to the birthing ward. So it's like where you stay before and after you give birth. I went up to my own room. Just me and my partner in there. Was like, if I can figure out how to do it, I'll insert a video. But my room tour was whack. I didn't have a consistent midwife. I had whoever was on shift. Maybe would have preferred having like a midwife that was there throughout the whole pregnancy. But I just missed out on getting that. So yeah, it was honestly fine. Basically, we just chilled, ate, watched maths. Like, I was honestly having so much fun. I felt like I was on holiday, just very pregnant. Morphine lasted about 6 hours. It was actually pretty good. Let me make sure I'm following my notes. Yeah. So I couldn't feel any pain for 6 hours, and it was the best. Like, I could finally like lay down, because I couldn't lie down throughout all those contractions. I did not lie down once. So from 1:30 in the morning on Sunday to, what time was it by now? Like 8 o'clock at night. No sitting. No sleeping. No laying down. I tried to sleep as much as I could during that period of time where the morphine was like still there. I like would rest my eyes for a bit, but it was nothing. They pretty much left me alone unless I like called the midwives. They didn't really come in. I wanted heat packs though, so every time the heat pack would go cold, I'd call them and be like, can I please get more heat packs? That was so good on my back. I also had a TENS machine on my back, which initially I did not like. But then during those contraction periods, holy heck, it was a lifesaver. I'd boost that all the way up. Nah, not even all the way. It was like 4 bars. Boost it up through the contraction, then turn it back down. But it was so good to counteract that pain, because a lot of my contractions were in my back. She wasn't in my back, but my contractions were like back cramps for the most part. Dare I say, was the worst pain out of the whole entire birthing experience. 1 second. Checking if we're still recording, because my phone storage be whack. I don't know what I said, but tried to sleep, didn't really sleep. Really wanted my partner to get a lot of sleep, so I was like, you're up for a big day, buddy. When my morphine ran out, I wanted more morphine, and it was a want, it wasn't a need. I called my midwife in at that point, and I was like, should I get it? Because usually they won't give it to you if they think you're going to give birth in the next 4 hours. It's still okay, but your baby can be a little bit sleepy, drowsy when they come out. She checked me first. She was so gentle and nice and didn't just go, I was like, Lord, if you say 3 centimeters, I'm going to lose it. And she was like, you're actually 5 centimeters. And I was like, score. Like, I feel like this is where we can, get a roll on, guys. Like, let's get it moving. That was about 5 in the morning. I didn't get any more morphine. I didn't get any more anything until I went to the birthing suite. So I went to the birthing suite at about 6:37 in the morning. Monday morning now. We're heading Monday morning. This is where it gets a little bit like muddled for me. I can't really recall every like event and like what time they happened. They started to check baby every 15 minutes. They'll check her heartbeat and make sure she was all good, and then also we're checking mine as well. This is kind of where the pain got real, and it was all the back cramps. They wanted me laying down on the bed, very often they were like wanting to check me, and they were like, oh, you have to be laying down for this, da 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 da. And all I wanted to do was sit right up straight, like sit up like this. This was the most like comfortable position for me, was like my back straight, like not leaning back, not on an incline or anything, like dead ass straight up. But I also couldn't hold myself up as well. For me to sit up, I needed my legs to be off the side of the bed. I couldn't like sit up with my legs straight, if that makes sense. My poor partner, bless his soul, through every contraction I had at this point, I needed him to be holding me up, first of all, upright, and like pushing on my back, especially my lower back, to counteract the pain, because it was so intense. It was one of the worst pains I've ever felt in my life. I attempted gas, because I was like, let's move up in stages here, So I tried gas, thinking, oh, this is going to be great. No, hated it. I'd practiced breathing so much that like the way my mouth was, probably shouldn't do that. The way my mouth was shaped around the gas tube, it was like messing with the way that I had been breathing the whole entire time before getting gas. So like my mouth being that shape, I couldn't breathe properly. And it also tasted like a freaking balloon. It was just gross. And I couldn't really feel it, to be honest. I said no thanks to the gas. I tried it twice through contractions, and I was like, the pain was so bad that I was like, give me the epidural. And I told myself, I'm not going to have epidural. I'm not going to do it. I don't need it. Like, I can get through this. Girl, let me tell you, when you have a birth plan, or lucky this wasn't me, but if you're someone that has like, who wants to stick to their birth plan like a T and goes in expecting that, please don't. Please have an open mind, because let's be for real, the likelihood of you getting everything in your birthing plan is slim to none, kind of. I didn't, have like a solid birth plan. I just had, this is what I would like, but I was not like sticking myself to that. I was keeping an open mind, because look what happened. I needed the epidural. I was like, please get me the epidural. And then they were like, we need to break your waters to, get this moving. And I totally forgot about my waters. I was like, oh shit, yeah. I asked if I could get the epidural and then they break my waters, because I did not want to feel that. And she was like, oh, I don't know. We'll try. And then she went and asked someone, and then apparently like it wasn't possible. And then my partner piped up and was like, can you just like ask them again? Like, she's in a lot of pain. She would prefer to get epidural and then break your waters. Somehow, some way, they come around. They're like, okay, we'll do it that way. So at 10 o'clock, I get the epidural. I want to insert a photo here if I can, because lol. Epidural, the whole needle in your back. It sounds scary. It was literally nothing. And I wasn't on any morphine or anything when I got the epidural. So when they put I think it's like the local anesthetic, which is like the one that's supposed to hurt, and then the bigger needle you don't really feel. Honestly, it just felt like a scratch in your back. Nothing like what I thought it was going to feel like. I hate needles. I had to get so many blood tests before she was born, and everyone I was petrified. I had my partner there like squeezing his hand. Like, I just hated them. But when you're in that much pain, you kind of stop caring about how much you hate needles. And you're at that point where you're like, I will do anything to not feel this pain anymore. I went and sat up on the side of the bed, was hugging the pillow, as hopefully you can see in the photo wherever I put it. Hopefully I can insert it and not be a loser. And, they do the needle, da-da-da-da. It was fine. I lay back down. But because of my back cramps, and they were usually on my left side, I was lying crooked. And lying crooked, let me tell you, once you get an epidural, not the smartest idea. Because I was laying crooked, it only numbed my right side. Well, it numbed a little bit on my left side, but my right side was really numb. They were doing the ice test where they would like put ice on my leg and see if I can feel it. So I couldn't feel it on this side up to like my hip. This side I could feel like my whole thigh. I could still feel the ice. And I was like, well, what do we do now? Come on, guys. Like, what do we do? They'll like try lying on your left side to like move or bring the epidural over to your left side and try to like even it out. Didn't work. Did not work. I started freaking out a little bit because at this point I was like, I can still feel my left leg. I can feel my abdomen. I can feel my back cramps still. I can feel all these things that I thought once you get an epidural, you don't feel anymore. I sat back up and the anesthetician, and you know what I'm saying, the epidural gal, she came back and she moved the tube in my back to like my left side more, so it started to like flow that way, and that worked in numbing my legs, but I could still feel my contractions. This area wasn't numb, like the whole way around it was not numb. So this lady, another lady, came in with more, don't know what they were. She said she put 2 different types into the epidural, or like on top of the epidural, and that worked. So I stopped feeling contractions. I couldn't feel this area anymore, and I was so thankful because I was so scared that I was still going to feel this birth. My body was very like dead down there. I had to like lift my legs, you know. So then they broke my water. My partner always says that this was like the craziest part ever, was the amount of fluid that I was holding. When they initially broke my waters, which honestly that pain is unreal as well, I could still like feel it, because at that point when they broke my waters, I think I just got like the first lot of epidural. I didn't like get all the other stuff, so backtrack a bit. But yeah, that was insane, the amount of fluid that just came rushing out. And I later found out by my doctor that like that is how it would have happened naturally as well. And I was like, thank goodness I was here and not at the freaking shops or something. It came out like the movies. It just gushed out like probably 3-4 liters of water, just, and they were constantly changing, like, because like I flooded the bed pretty much. It's so gross, but that's what happened. I'm just being real. This is my experience. Changing it constantly, and it just kept coming. Once all the fluid was gone and they had dealt with it, I felt so bad because it was just such a mess to clean up, and it was like constant. Yeah, and then they had to come back and fix the epidural and add the more drugs on top. So that was like probably like 12, 1 o'clock maybe. By 5 o'clock that night, Monday night, the midwife that was on, her name was, I had so many. Her name was Carly. She was great. She came in, she kind of run the show. She came in, she's like, she needs this, you need to check on this, da-da-da-da-da. At that point, I'm just kind of chilling, trying to rest. At 5 o'clock, she lets me know that I can push, pretty much. So I can either push now or I can wait an hour and probably be a little bit further along in my contractions and then push then. And I was like, let's give my partner and his poor hands and arms a break. Let's let him rest and just chill, try to sleep a little bit. And by the time 6 p.m. rolls around, hopefully we've both got enough energy to get the show on the road. We wait till 6 and I start pushing. Pushing was the easiest part out of the whole experience because I was numb. I could feel pressure, but I couldn't feel pain. Just focus on like this pushing down motion. I had my music playing, listening to some Afro beats, and I was like doing about 4 pushes per contraction. And then it got to around 7, I think, maybe like just after 7. So I've been pushing for around an hour and a bit. And then like 5 people come into the room. Like, we're just doing a routine check. They're just coming to have a look. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, routine check, like, they're doing a changeover in shifts. And I was like, no problem. Hi, I'm just trying to give birth right now. More than welcome to take a look. Happy days. Little did I know something was going a little bit wrong. I just was so like, la la la, okay, no problem. Come have a geese, have a gander, whatever, all good. They were coming in because baby's heart rate she was getting tired from the pushing. She wasn't like passing the pelvic bone, so she kept like coming out a little bit and then going back in, and I just didn't have enough in me to push her past that point. I do remember crying, I'm pretty sure, like a little bit of a tear, because I really wanted to push her out on my own, and I didn't want any instruments or anything to be used. But unfortunately, because I couldn't push her out by myself and she was getting tired, they had to use a vacuum. She said, I'm going to have to, put a vacuum on her and just help her out a little bit. I'm also going to have to do an episiotomy. And I was like, dang it. I was so naive. I didn't think that I was going to need any instruments. I thought I was like the strong girl, push the baby out, could do it in 2 pushes kind of thing. So naive. Not how it went at all, but whatever's best for my baby, obviously. So I was like, no problem. If I had gone without epidural, I don't know if I could have, I don't know. That just is a whole nother ballpark that I can't play in. So they get the vacuum. I do like a big final push. I get her head out, and then I do like a final push, and I can feel kind of her coming out. And at this point, we didn't know what we were having. It was like a surprise. So she comes out. There's like a photo where she's like on my chest, and then there's a video of my partner saying like, it's a girl.
It's a girl.
Let's take this out. Can we take this down?
So yeah, they plonk her straight onto my chest. They plonk her straight onto my chest. And that moment is surreal. Like, that moment takes away any pain I had felt previously. Her being on my chest was like the best thing ever. So she was born at 7:38 p.m. on Monday, the 3rd of March, 2025. She weighed a whopping 4.37 kgs, which is, I think, 9.6 pounds, something like that. 53 centimeters long and 37 centimeter head circumference. She was big, and all the doctors afterwards were like, oh, like, because you've had a cesarean. And I was like, I didn't have a cesarean. They're like, what? How? She's healthy. She was happy. Big chunky girl. We named her Ailani. So kind of looks like Ailani. People pronounce it Alani, but it's Ailani. Then I delivered the placenta. I don't even know how. I can't remember doing that really. That chick was down there for, I swear, hours. Felt like hours of her like sewing me back up. So I had a small 2 centimeter tear on the left side, and then I had like the episiotomy that they had to fix up. I was swollen for a while. I was in a lot of pain after. I stayed in the hospital for 2 nights. I had no idea that my partner couldn't stay with me the first night, and we both kind of lost it. I didn't know that was like a normal thing. But yeah, stayed there 2 nights. I was so numb. I could barely walk. The whole like afterbirth process and like the recovery is kind of it's like quite intense for some people. I mean, I can only speak on my experience. Personally, it was really hard. You can't be independent. You have to rely on people to help you. So, my partner had to help me shower, had to help me get changed, had to help me with baby, had to help me pretty much do everything. I couldn't move. Thankfully, the midwives were so amazing. I had this one midwife, Chelsea, who I wrote a review on and sent back to the hospital. And I was like, please give this girl a pay rise. She was so amazing. She helped me with everything. She helped me with baby latching, sleeping, changing me, showering me, like above and beyond, honestly. So I'm just so grateful for the team that was there to help me. We went home on Wednesday afternoon. So a learning process, big changes, lots of things you don't know until you know. But I'm just so grateful that she was healthy. I keep looking this way because she's in her cot there. Sorry. Everyone keeps asking me, would you have another one? Girl, I get what they mean when they're like, oh, you forget the pain. You really do. Like, I will never forget those back cramps. But everything else you kind of forget because of what you got in return. So, yeah, I have another one. Give me a couple years, but yeah, I have another one. For sure. Yeah. That was my experience giving birth. That was my birthing story. Sorry if it was all over the place. I'm a bit all over the place still. She's waking up and she's 1 month old today, which is crazy. Time's flying. You're going to hear her little cries if I don't go soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope there's more to come. Yeah, I'm going to go feed my baby. Bye. Hi. Hi, you big noo-nooist.